How do you separate when we're talking about the heroism of the agents, which was incredible, and after the shooting, from the before the shooting that clearly there was some major mistakes made?
Well, again, the mistakes were not made by the agents assigned to former President Trump. They covered and evacuated him as they were trained to do. They responded quickly. But the other part of it is the advance work that was done, which was probably done by the field office. For the President of the United States, it's done by agents on the Presidential Protective Division. But this is a former president and, of course, soon the nominee of the Republican Party. But he was being afforded protection almost similar to that given to the president with metal detectors, counter sniper. They clearly recognized they had a high ground issue where they wouldn't have had counter snipers there. So the issue, it's pretty clear they had their 3 rings of security, being an outer ring, the ring where people go through the metal detectors, and finally the final ring, the agents assigned directly to the former president. Now, whether that building was inside the formal perimeter or out is not relevant. The motive of the shooter is not relative. It's important to find out what it was, but it's an attack on a protectee of the Secret Service, and their motive is irrelevant. It's how it should have been prevented, and how the advance should have been done.
We have an animation to show the 150 yards or so from the building that the shooter was on the top of, the would-be assassin, versus where the president was. We can take you through this. And you made the point that the building was technically outside of the perimeter, and it's different. The protection protocols for a former president, presidential nominee, are different than for that of the current president for obvious reasons. But 43 years is an awfully long time to have never failed. It's a pretty incredible record for the Secret Service, and one I think that is worth noting. It's remarkable, really. And I'm wondering if you feel that after the attack on President Reagan, things changed, right? There was this sort of whole relook at presidential security, and if maybe in the past 43 years, they've become just a little bit complacent.
Well, I hope not that that's the case. But what happened after the Reagan assassination attempt, we'd been asking for a long time, why don't we have metal detectors? And within days after that, we had metal detectors. And it's no coincidence that in 43 years, the historic assassin, being the lone gunman, was not able to penetrate that security and commit a violent act against the president or a protectee of the Secret Service. That's no coincidence. However, in the
so what's going to change now?
Well, let's talk about what probably should have changed. The dais, the podium, maybe that should have been changed to a different location on the grounds so that the back was possibly to that building. But what should have happened is we knew there was a high ground problem. That's why they had counter sniper. But they're going to have to explain at some point why it was not posted by a police officer, an agent, or someone else to ensure if it was locked and closed up or whatever it was, that no one was on that roof. So they're going to have to explain why that happened, because it was a high ground issue.
There's Washington, to that point, there's Washington Post reporting now that the local law enforcement may have climbed up on the roof and confronted the sniper before, but was pushed back by either gunfire or something else. And then that's when the shot was taken at the former president. Tim McCarthy, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.